Oh, shooting it. I'm shooting it out. Going live. Live video is starting, and we are live officially. Hello, everybody. I'm going to kind of wait for some people to kind of join our little chat room here. But while we're waiting, I'll just kind of give a brief introduction of what we're doing. So this is from our live photo shoot day that was literally yesterday. I didn't want to work on it after we shot yesterday. I was so tired, and I really just wanted a game for the rest of the day. I think I did 5 photo shoots in 4 hours. We didn't have 2 models show up. They kind of ghosted us, which I guess happens, but not cool. Anyway, but we did some really, really cool stuff. So anyway, we're in 45 seconds. So what we're going to be doing is, I don't normally start off with a close-up, but this one was really cool. And I haven't worked with her, and I haven't gotten anything from her. So this is going to be our first set that's going to be releasing literally tomorrow as part of my one-a-day posts on Facebook and Instagram and Twitch. And if you are a subscriber, thank you. And if you want to subscribe, you can totally help out my funding by going to patreon.com/CherokeeTurner, and you can help me out there. All the funds go to models and wardrobes and just doing fun stuff with the photography and models and stuff. So yeah, and you guys get to watch everything that goes on. So yeah, there's that. So like and subscribe, send out, comment below. We're going to go ahead and jump into this. I'm not sure. I don't have anybody watch me yet, but if you're watching this post haste, I really hope you enjoy it. So yeah, we're going to jump on in. We're in Lightroom right now. So what I had her do was model in front of this really cool, like, Victorian door. She brought some real roses. She wanted to do kind of like a Morticia Adams style kind of thing. So we're just kind of run with that. I still haven't had time to find like backdrops and stuff. So on the edges over here, there are like, there's just like a cement wall. So I'm still kind of looking for backdrops. So I'm kind of starting on a close-up, which is something I don't normally do. I usually like to set up the scene first. But we're going to roll with it. So in Lightroom, I'm going to go up here in Adobe Color. We're going to go to Adobe Landscape. And automatically off the bat, that's going to go ahead and saturate everything without actually having to pull down any sliders. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do As Shot. I'm going to bring that down to Flash. It's going to kind of dulling things up just a smidgen because I was using like 4 flashes. If you see over here on the right hand side, I actually have a little bit of an orangey kind of glow to help bring in a little bit of that contrast to break her out from the door. Cool. All right, let's get into this. Off the bat, I kind of want to bring this down a bit. Bring those highlights down a smidgen. Bring the shadows up, kind of bring out her hair. Bring the whites down a bit. Bring up the black here. All right, that's looking good. I really don't want to mess with that. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mask out the backdrop. I want to make it kind of... Actually, first thing I want to do before that, sorry. I want to go ahead and go down here because I'm noticing this. I had this door propped up against the wall, so it's a little bit slanted. So we're going to go ahead and kind of fix some of these problems, which that kind of helps out a little bit, but it's still not where I want it. So let's go ahead and play with the vertical axis a little bit. About right there. Bring up the scale a little bit. About right there. I think I'm going to have to rotate it, actually. About right like that. Bring this back a little bit. About right there. Okay, that looks good. Let's see what happens when we do this. Ooh, that kind of brings it something else. Yeah, I like that. And scale it up just a smidge more. Cool, there's that. I'm going to go ahead and make a crop out of this. So everything I do, it goes to 8x10 because that's kind of like the friendly format. And I'm going to go ahead and crop in just a smidgen here. We're going to go ahead and make sure our ley lines are all right. I'm going to do about right there. Right there. Okay. All right, now we're going to go ahead and mask out that background. All right, select your mask tool. We go to background, and there's still nobody watching me. Yeah, it's Sunday. Everybody's in church right now, so that's okay if that's your thing. If not, that's totally not my thing. That's fine. All right, so we've got that masked out, and that did a really, really good job of just getting her. That's fantastic. All right, that's awesome. All right, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and just lighten up the contrast here. Bring down the highlights a little bit. So I'm going to make it a bit more hazy in the background, and I might put smoke in the background in the actual edit itself. But I'm going to go ahead and start to free her up from the background just a little bit. And I might bring in the warmness of the look. Or do we want to keep it really kind of cold? I don't know. I'm kind of digging the warm look. I don't know. I love warm photos. Let's bring down the sat a little bit. About right there. I do know I don't want the texture to be there for sure. And clarity, bring that down a bit. Bring up that warmness. It's kind of helping with the warmness of her skin tone here and the way she had her makeup. Let's dehaze, maybe. That'll definitely break her out of the background, but almost too much. We don't want a crazy amount to where it actually looks insanely Photoshopped. We definitely don't want that. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and break her away now. So we'll go ahead and select this mask tool again. Hit that plus button, and we're going to select subject. That's going to find her, which, man, this is doing a fantastic job of finding her. All right, let's do this. Bring down the exposure just a little bit. Just a little bit. Doesn't need a whole lot. But I do want to bring down, well, maybe bring up the highlights, but bring down the actual white point. Make it look a little bit more natural. Let's see about those shadows here. All right, yeah. We're kind of doing that. Okay, so I'm going to bring some of those shadows back in Photoshop, so I'm going to accentuate the face a little bit more. Let's go ahead and bring this. No, that's too much. That's not bad. I've done a -1. Cool, I like it. Let's go ahead and yeah, just a little warmer, just very slightly more warm. Let's see what happens when we add a little bit more of these tones here. Green is actually kind of doing it for me. It's kind of helping break away her skin there because it's very red. I'm actually enjoying that right there. It's kind of definitely taking into the contrast in the tone. Cool, I like that. That helped with her the warmer tone of her face too. That's cool. All right, sat. There's a desat about right there. Cool. And let's go ahead and really texture her up because we're definitely going to lighten it for sure. Okay, about right there. About right there. And sharpen her up a bit. About right there. We're going to take care of all of this, so that will be just fine. Okay, cool. Love it. Let's bring that down. And if you're joining us, please say hi in the comments. Whatever your comment you give, it definitely helps me out on my channel. So if you can, please comment. All right, so the overall tone I'm going to start to mess with. I'm going to go ahead and bring down the vibrance, but I'm going to bring up the saturation. So the vibrance mainly plays with some of the warmer tones. So I do like doing that and then bringing some of those back up whenever I get my HSLs. So that's looking pretty good. I like that. Ooh, it's coming together. Pull in this curve. Bring up those lights a little bit, but right there. Love it. All right, so now we're going to the HSL editor, and if you've seen my stuff before, I really try to mess a lot of this, and this really helps blending all the different tones. So red's going to be more oranges. Oranges are going to be more yellows. Yellows are going to be more orange, and it just kind of goes around like that. So I'm definitely going to start messing with these. So this red is definitely going to help play with the red of the lipstick and the flower. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that down and bring that closer into that red magenta tone. And on the oranges, that's not going to do the same thing. So I'm going to kind of bring that slider up and try to match that tone of her skin a little bit better. That way it's not as close to that red flower. So there we go. Hey, I've got a viewer. Welcome, viewer. Welcome to the stream. Why don't you give a comment and say who you are? Right, so we've got yellow. Don't really have a lot of yellow in this scene. We do have a lot of green, and I think I want to try to actually play off that green because these are the only real two colors that are going to be in this photo. So I definitely want to bring out that green. Not a whole lot of blues, so I'm actually going to desat any blue because there's not a lot of blue. See if you go all over the place. It doesn't really change anything. Same with the background. You can see, I actually want to slide that closer to those magenta tones because it's really kind of bringing in something right over here. And then this last one, I guess that was more purple. This one's more magenta, so that doesn't really do anything. Let's go ahead and go for the sats. And here, that's where we're messing with that saturation. The flower is good, but it's also messing with her skin. So I'm actually going to bring it down a bit, and then I'll resaturate that back in Photoshop. Definitely bringing down the saturations of the oranges and give her the more pale kind of look, pale complexion. Let's go ahead and bring these yellows. Oh, that yellow. See that flower right there? Those yellows are really coming out in that flower. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that up as well as the green for our stems. Got right there. Aquas, we're going to bring those down. Blues, we're going to bring down. These can be less saturated. I'm not really into too much of the purple, so I'll bring this down a bit. And the magenta of her eyes, I'm actually going to go ahead and bring those up. I think that looks pretty nice. Cool. All right, luminance. Here we go. That red flower definitely looks good. I'm kind of digging that, though. Ooh, it's more of like a deathly look. This is more of like poster art, and this is more like I have a death wish. I don't know. Chat. If I have a chat. Oh, we lost a viewer. I don't have any more chat. Okay, so I'm going to go with. I'm going to bring it down. I think I'm going to bring it down this time. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and do these oranges. Bring those down a bit. No. Let's bring them up right there. And bring up the yellows. Bring down the greens. Not a whole lot of blue. Not a whole lot of blue. Those purples are definitely in the background. So bring those up a little bit. Kind of matches the tone of her face there. And that looks pretty good right there. Cool. Love it. Right. Let's go ahead and start setting the tone. So this is the color grader. It's one of my favorite tools because you can just kind of, one of the things I teach like all my students, like you really want to focus on a color and make that kind of the thing you're wanting to focus on. So really, I used to go, I want all my colors to be all big and vibrant, but the real one thing I want to focus on is the face and the flower, and the two things that it's got is this red. So I'm definitely going to bring out the warmer tones for the reds, but I also want to make sure I have a lot of saturation in the blacks. So we're going to try to give it an overall kind of look that'll help bring that in. So I'm going to bring down the luminance for that more Wednesday, Morticia, Adams type vibe. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to warm these up a bit, so give it an overall warmth. Even though, I should be more playing around in the blues, but I don't like that. I don't know. I'm really digging this kind of warm vibe with the flower and everything. But that's what I like. Tell me what you like in the comments. Bring up the highs here. I'm also going to pull in some color to my highs. More of that warmy red. Same with my midtones, just a little less though. See, I've got my highs, I've got it a little bit warmer, but on my midtones, I've got it just a little bit more down. And on my shadows, I'm actually going to cool it off in those shadows. Remember I was telling about, like, I want it to have an overall warm tone, but I do want the darker areas to have a cooler tone. But I'm not going to go blue, I'm actually going to go down here into the more magenta, and it's going to kind of cool it off just a little bit. Just a little bit. We don't want a whole lot, but you see as I roll around these colors, it's going to You can kind of see the difference there. So if I cool it off with a little bit of magenta, it still kind of keeps that warmth, but it's also cooling it off a little bit. But if I go into the blues, it gives kind of an off kind of look, and I'm not really enjoying that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to bring this up just a bit, and I'm going to mess with my blending and see how well I can blend these together. Ooh, I kind of like this. About right there. Okay, that's looking good. All right, and let's move down to my calibration tool here. I'm not going to really mess with the shadows because, again, I want that shadow layer to be, or our shadows to be somewhat desaturated. Calibration. Do that. I'll probably bring back some of that skin tone in Photoshop. But right there. Cool. Okay, so this is our first major edit. So this is our Lightroom edit. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that into Photoshop. Okay, let's go into Photoshop. Here we are in Photoshop. First thing I'm going to do is go to File, save on my computer, and like and sub. You need to like and sub. Labyrinth. We'll call this PSDs. We'll call this, come on, Mort close up. Cool. Now right off the bat, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate that layer. So this layer will always stay the same. So no matter what I do to it, it won't be as destructive as changing that first layer. Because we do not want to destroy everything that we've worked towards. All right, so first off, I'm going to go ahead and liquefy my layer. We're going to make a few changes. We're going to kind of shape her face just a little bit. Not too much to where she looks completely different, but we're just going to shape up just a little bit. So let's see what we can do here. No, I don't want to duplicate this eye and move it over here and do a complete thing, but I might do that. I hate doing that, though. We'll see. Okay, I like it. Alright, let's see what happens if we do that. Did I do that correctly? Boy, did I not. Ugh. There's that. So I'm gonna try. I don't normally do this, and I don't like doing this, but we're just gonna do one of these. Copy, paste that over here. I'm just doing it. Ah, no. Not sure why I did that. I do it for the sake of symmetry. So hold on. All right, there. Mask. A little more this way. Whoops. Just mainly want to get right down through here. There's that. That, and I will fix a lot of this. Bring that up. Okay, let's do. I want to move the eyes just a bit. Okay, so let's go destructive. Do this. Do this. Convert smart. And can I do that on a smart layer? Yes. Go back to liquefy. Awesome. All right, now let's go ahead and start doing some skin retouch. And on this, I usually use the clone stamp tool, or not the clone stamp tool, healing brush tool. And that is very big. Why is that very big? I don't want to be very big. And now I can't see my brush. Why can't I see my brush? Hello? Oh boy. I am having a day. Alright. There we go. Alright, so I'm just gonna have to look at the brush size from here. There we go. We're going to fix a lot of this as well. I'm going to blend a lot of these colors together. I'm just trying to get rid of, just kind of smoothing out everything. Not sure what this is. I'm not sure if she wants to keep that or not, but I think I'm going to keep it. I think that's kind of her thing. What tool am I using right now? This is the healing brush tool. So what I do with the healing brush tool, Michael, thank you for the comment, is I go over here. So I have my layer duplicated through so many times, and then I go on top of this and I do a blank layer, and then I use the healing brush tool on a current and below setting. That way anything that I'm selecting will be selecting whatever's on that same layer and below it. So it's making taking all the texture from all the layers and filling in the gaps on a separate layer. So that way if I kind of mess up, I can kind of go back and see where I've gone. Save. Okay, let's see here. Is there anything else I need to do? Okay, so now that I got that done, I'm going to go ahead and take these two layers, do that, duplicate them, convert to a smart layer, and then I'm going to rasterize the layer. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start blending some of this stuff with the patch tool. So right off the bat, the big thing I want to do is get rid of the bags under our eyes. That is always usually the first thing that goes. So we'll go do this. Take that, I'm going to switch it with this, and that's going to go ahead and get rid of that problem right there. Same with this. Bring that down. I'm going to take that texture instead. Let's do another one here. Nope. I like the other one better. Nope. How do I do this? I need to do just a little bit less. About like that. Do this, bring that down. Just do it in chunks. It's kind of good. What if I do this? Okay, there's that. All right, again with the patch tool. That is getting all sorts of squirrely. Don't like that at all. Might have to go back to that layer and finish that off. So I want to go ahead and take this out. Blend that in a bit. Alright, next thing we're going to do, we're going to take these layers, duplicate, convert to smart object, duplicate that layer, put these into a new group. We're going to call this FRQ SEP. Rasterize, take this one down, filter, blur, Gaussianic blur, and that's perfect. Now, bring that about, maybe to about right there. Image, apply image, merge, we're going to do layer 3 copy, multiply to subtract, hit OK. Normal, linear light. Alright, that's looking good. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to start blending some colors. So I'm going to take my blending brush, wherever it may be. Where are you? There you are. Make it nice and big. Just kind of start. No. Clean brush. Just kind of start blending in some of these colors a bit. Don't want anything to be too dark. Don't want anything to be too light. Want just a nice gradient. Ugh, I wish you could see what I'm doing, but I don't know the hotkey to bring out. Bring back my brush, and I've already started the live stream. I don't want to get out of Photoshop. Right, that's looking pretty good. This is probably the longest thing that'll take is the skin retouch, just because A, there's a lot of skin, B, you got to blend in all these colors. So I'm trying to get a really nice blend of all the colors without making it look too unnatural, not splotchy. And try to give her as much justice as I possibly can. So here's before or after before. So just kind of blending in all those layers a little bit more. Don't want too many bright spots. And then we'll go back and we'll do dodge and burn, and then we'll color, add some noise, just do a whole bunch of stuff. That's good. Don't want this to look overly done. Heck, I might even after this go back and do some clone stamping just in case. And yes, you can overdo this portion. You don't want to overdo it. You want to give it just the right amount. And again, I'm just trying to blend in the colors. I'm not trying to shape in or anything. I'm just trying to blend these colors in so the gradients are smoother. That's the idea, is you get the gradients from dark to light smooth as I can. Let's see if I can get a bigger brush here and see if that'll help me out with this color. Yeah, that's working a little better. Again, it would help if I could see my brush, but for some reason I cannot see my brush. Do not know why. Started out, I could see it. It's gone now. And I don't feel like stopping the stream to figure out how to get it back. Like, I don't know if this is intentional or not. I think it's intentional because that's kind of her shtick. I don't like it though. But I want to keep it there because it looks intentional. I think it's like one of those beauty mark things, but I don't know. I'm going to keep it there. Alright, so here we are. I might make a brush a bit bigger. So we got before, after, kind of smudge those colors together. I think we're going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm probably going to desaturate and make this a little lighter. Go ahead and pull this in a bit. Just brighten that up just a little bit. Like that. Looking good. Pull that in there a little bit. So before, after. Not bad. All right, next thing what we're going to do is go down here. We're going to create a curves adjustment. And let's go ahead and bring their curves up a little bit, not too much. We're going to invert our, what do you call it? Our curves layer. We'll take our brush. We're going to make sure that it is flopped to white, and we're going to change our flow down to like 6. So since we're brightening up, I'm going to make our brush pretty big, and we're just going to kind of brighten up. And again, just make those gradients onto our bright layers a little more. Just kind of brighten them up and just smooth out that skin. A little bit kind of goes a long way on this one. So see how we kind of brought that bright spot over just a little bit? Just kind of bringing that one spot out just a little bit. That's good there. Brighten this right here. Just a little bit. Okay, there's that. Brighten this spot a little. Make this transition a little bit better. I normally would be doing this with my pen tablet, but I'm not really liking my pen tablet these days. If I'm doing hair, I will totally use a pen tablet. But right now, I don't know. I'm just not digging working with a pen tablet. There's that. There's that. Go ahead and give her a smaller bright spot right over here. There we go. It's coming together. Got some cheekbone going. Awesome. That's looking good. Again, let's do before and after. Before, after. I'm liking it. Just do a little bit more right through here. Totally digging it. Alright. So now we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to start burning. So curves adjustment. Bring down the curves adjustment right there. Again, invert that so we don't see it. And we are going to just kind of bring down some of these darker levels. We're going to start adding some contrast. So where these darker layers kind of go in, we're going to start adding some of that contrast back. Do want to add some contrast through here. There you go. A little bit before and after that. It's looking pretty good. Contrast in on the hair. And it really just helps just bring in where you want to look. Do that. Awesome. Alright, I'm going to go in with a big old brush to do some of her cheekbone right through here. I'm liking that. Liking that. Nice. Alright, so before and after. Before and after. And if you wanted to, like, you can take this fill layer. Like, if you think it's, like, you know, too much, pull it down a little bit, you know. No wrong in that. Pull it down just a little bit. Give it a little bit less, you know. See, actually, this fully do not like as much. I like it more around about right there. You know? Cool. All right, I like that. So since we did that, it kind of saturated the face a little bit more, and it's popping just a little bit too much. So I'm going to go to Hue Sat, and I'm going to take my reds down just a little bit. Maybe just brighten them up a smidgen. So before and after. Cool. I like that. Alright, so one thing I really want to do is I want to focus on the eyes, because Morticia has this thing where, like, there's this gobo that's only focused on her eyes. So I kind of want to do that, but I also kind of don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mainly just focus on bringing out the eyes. So what I'm going to do is do a curves layer here. I'm going to bring that up quite a bit. And undo that. Flow all the way up. Put it down to... See, this is where I don't like doing this, because I don't know how big my brush is, and I don't know how to get that back. So I'm unsure of exactly how much I'm pulling in. So there's that, and you can actually see a contact lens in there. That's funny. Pull that down here. All right, so obviously I do not like that, but I do like that. That is more my speed right there. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this frequency separation layer, I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to convert it to a smart object. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to separate her from the background. I'm going to put some smoky bits in the background. And we'll start kind of getting into the final segments of this. So we've been going now for just a little, almost an hour, which is pretty good time. So I'm going to go ahead and do my selection tool here. I'm going to click under select subject, cloud detail, and hit select subject. And this one doesn't need, this kind of cutout doesn't need to be incredibly detailed. And in fact, actually, it helps me blend the stuff in more whenever I don't have it incredibly detailed, because it kind of blends it into the background kind of cool. So I usually use it like that. Okay, so we've got a blurry background. So now, if I turn this on and off, here's my layer here. There's my layer there. So everything's now working the way it should. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here. We're going to go into my documents. You're going to see everything that I have. Oh, yeah, there's those. Atmos bundle, overlays, and that's light. Don't need light. Let's work with some of this smoke. I'm going to use my favorite smoke, which is smoke 4. It's my favorite looking. It is so versatile. It looks like a feather. It looks like it's actually doing something. I love it. It's my favorite one. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this in. And we're going to blur it out, so it doesn't really matter how big you pull it. We'll do one of these. Make it kind of like cross-threaded, kind of like this. Give it a little bit of room there. Pull this underneath. Now we've got fog, but it's just black fog. So what we're going to do is we'll double click and we're going to blend if. So current layer, that's the one we want. Bring our slider all the way down. We got fog. But it's a little too white. So what I'm going to do is, since it's a smart layer, you can just go up here to image, go to curves, bring this over. We're looking for a little bit warmer kind of look. We'll go blue, prop this down a little bit, just a little bit, just kind of warm it up a bit. We're gonna go over here to the reds, little bit of red, just a little bit of red. All right, now we're gonna go ahead to green. We're gonna pop the green down. And might pull the reds back a bit. Red, pull that back. Right there. Blue, give it a little more orange. About right there. And then on RGB. The RGB now becomes our, what do you call it? Kind of like a, or our opacity a little bit. But you can kind of mess with the intenseness of like how sharp it is in these highlighted areas. So you can make it sharper. You can make it a little bit more diffused looking. It just gives you a little bit more control, which is really always nice to have in any kind of smoke layer or any kind of Photoshop layer. I mean, you want that control like that. And in fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm actually going to flip it. So it's going to flip to the other way. There it goes. Something like that. Maybe bring it down just a little bit. All right, there. I'll add one more smoke layer here. We'll add some like little wispies. Little wispies go a long way. Little wispies. Yeah, something like that. Same thing. Bring this down. Making some smoke. There's that. Image. Curves. Blue. Bring in that. Red. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and go straight to green. Take out any green, which is going to add magenta instead of red. It's a different color. I know what you're thinking. It's just a little different. There's just enough difference. About right there. RGB. Right there. Make a little less contrast like that. Nope, don't like that. About right there. I'm liking. Let's see if we got a little more warmth. And add some red. Like that. I'm going to take this. Bring it down just a little bit. Don't want it to be completely taking our image. Bring this up a little bit. About right there. Cool. I'm digging that. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit more smoke, which is gonna be, let's see here. Just add an overall smoke layer. Like that. It's gonna go on top. Mainly what I want is I don't want that big thick portion. I want this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around her. So watch this. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to save it real quick because sometimes my puppet warp wants to be a little squirrely. So save real quick. Save that. There it goes. Image, layer, where is it? I forget. Edit. There it is. Puppet warp. And that's going to set up a grid. So I'm going to select this point right here. This is my first point. And I'm going to bring this portion of the image up right here. And you see how that's kind of moving along a line. And I'm going to bring that same portion up on the other side. Like this. I like that. See how that's kind of bringing up right over there. Whoops, don't want that. Sorry. Yeah, screw it. I can put that down right there. All right, now I'm going to pull this down just a little bit. So it's kind of going around her, kind of revealing that flower right there. Kind of like that. Hopefully it didn't screw anything up. Sometimes it does something a little weird. Okay, so let's go to image, adjustments, curves. Do that same thing. We want to match our colors, so bring that blue down. We're going to add that yellow, green. Again, green brings magenta. Magenta is red, but it's just enough difference that I believe it's a different color. Let's add that red. Let's pull the reds into the darken or the light in there. I'm gonna bring the reds down though for our midtones, but I want to add color into just the bright areas. So I'll do that, and I'll do the same with the blues. I'm adding yellow. So I'm taking out blue on the top end. About right there. Oops. I messed up. Hold on. Go back to my curves layer. Come on. I hope I didn't just creep this out. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so we'll bring down kind of the look of this. There we go. Now it's coming together. Nice. All right, so there's that. Makes it a little less contrasty. Bringing that up in the foreground a little bit. Bring this up a little bit. There we go. About right there. I got a Snapchat. Fun. There's that. I'm digging that. Bring the fill down a little bit. So we'll bring it in maybe about more like this. Now that right there. Maybe. Chugga chugga. I think we're working pretty good there. I'm liking it. Okay, there's that. What else should I add? There are a couple things I should be looking at, but what am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? Chat, tell me what I'm forgetting since there's nobody in the chat. Please, somebody chat with me. There's something I usually... Oh, duh. Jesus, I haven't colored it. Oh, document's too big. Can't save it anymore. So I'm just gonna... We're gonna... roll with it. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make it more painterly. So I'm going to go over here into the color balance. And that's going to bring up all my tones over here. So this is where I get hot and heavy with the color. Okay, so I took a lot of color out, put a lot of color in. I did all this stuff, but now we're going to start blending in our shadows, our highlights, and all that stuff. We're going to make it more painterly. And this is how I like to do that. There's a couple different things I'm going to do. So here is a color balance window. And if I'm going for that warmer tone, I am definitely going to throw in a little bit of yellow. And again, a little bit of that red. Just a smidgen. And actually, let's see what happens if I kind of like, if you add that cyan in there, that kind of brings that out a little bit. Anyway, pull that. Let's do magenta. Or green's kind of nice. But no, I'm going to bring in that magenta just a little bit. About right there. Cool. And that's just shadows. Highlights. It's going to mostly focus on this area. Again, I'm going to bring down yellow all the way in. No. Just a bit of yellow. Just kind of get that way. I don't like having completely white pixels on my screen because that's not, I don't know, it's not artistic enough for me. All right, let's bring this in here. Ooh, this is kind of nice. Oh, I do kind of like adding the green into the skin tone. That's kind of cool. Ooh, that's pretty nice. That's creepy looking. I like it. Midtones. Don't add too much yellow because there's already quite a bit of yellow in there. Pull that back a little bit. Ooh, here we go. Midtones are doing it. This picture is coming together. Pull it back about right there. Ooh, I do like when I add this green. So remember what I talked to you about adding those colors. We're really focusing on that red and green. Adding the green into those midtones really kind of brings out kind of that green. Like the all-around color balance just kind of pops it. I like it. Loving it. That is our color balance. The last thing I do is this is my secret sauce. Nobody has this but me. And that is my color lookups, which I'm going to have for sale at some point. Or they're going to be free on my Patreon. So if you're a Patreon patriot and you like, you know, helping people out, you can totally become a patron at patreon.com/Cherokee Turner. And you can sign up for some of my monthly subscriptions. And with that subscription, you can get this for free next month. So I'm going to upload this, and you can get it for free there, or you can buy it on my website at CherokeeTurner.com. Eventually, once I upload it. But I have these cool LUTs. They're based off of old school masterwork paintings, and my favorite one is Primavera. And these are super saturated, so I use them usually in the 5 to 10% realm. But it just adds so much. Like you can push it this way if you really want a mood, but they just add so much feeling and depth. Like just a little bit goes a long way. So look at that, 14% and nothing. So just love it. Okay, so last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do what I call drawing focus. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna duplicate all these layers, and hopefully it'll do it in somewhat of a short order manner, because I know this is pretty labor intensive and my computer hasn't been liking me lately, and hopefully it does not crash. Rendering smart filters. Alright, so there's that. And then I'm going to do this and go to convert to smart object. And that's going to merge everything together. And then I'm going to rasterize that image, and then I'm going to do a drawing focus layer. So I'm basically going to draw where I want my eyes to go. And it takes a bit. There we go. There's that. So I'm going to right click, rasterize layer, hit normal, and go to multiply. And that automatically makes it look absolutely horrible, even though this is a really kind of cool, spooky image. But I'll show you what this does. Do here, hit the mask. So obviously before and after. Before, after, looks awful. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control I. Make sure my brush is set to white. Make it stupid large, which is usually in the 5,000 range. If I can correctly, there we go. And I'm just going to paint one big brush mark right here, one big brush mark right here, one big brush mark right here. Actually, that's not big. That's not very big at all. Big brush mark right here. There we go. Big brush mark right here. Yeah, that's too much. Big brush mark right here. Big brush mark right there. Big brush right here. Maybe one small one right here. There we go. Maybe a bigger brush right here. Maybe a little bit more here. A little more here. Awesome. I love it. All right, and the last thing we got to do is got to name it. You got to put your stuff on. www.Cherokee. Oh my gosh, that's awful. I can't spell today. www.CherokeeTurner.com. I'm pretty sure I messed it up too. So let's go ahead and pull it up. Yep, sure did. And it's not in my font. Gotta have the right font. Avenir book. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, man. Really? Come on. There we go. There's that. Pull this down about right there. Then you have to, absolutely have to put your watermark on it. It's not yours unless you watermark it. Bring that in. And we're done. Voila. There's our Morticia Adams. This is where we're starting from. This is kind of the look that we're going to go for. I love the smoky look. We're really bringing all that stuff together. And that's it. So, hey, everybody, thank you for joining me, all you guys from the live stream. Thank you for commenting and just kind of doing your thing. Make sure to check me out on Patreon, patreon.com/CherokeeTurner. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're on Facebook or YouTube. And thanks for being here. I'll try to do another one in the next few days, but there's definitely going to be a weekly one for sure. So make sure to check it out. Like and subscribe, become a patron, and do all the awesome things. And I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.